Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Music Weekly, the show where I give you guys some prog news headlines, introduce you guys to some great new prog singles I think you should check out, and just have fun telling you what's happening on the channel here and what's planned and what's coming up. So it's June 21st, 2024, and I'm excited to dive into a little bit of news for you. I have a really awesome prog singles list that I want to highlight for you, and it should be a lot of fun to talk through. So I've got my wall finally up behind me in the new house, so you can see my beautiful vinyl displayed, some newer albums, some classics, some stuff that I'm listening to recently or plan to listen to or focus on the channel. So a little bit of a teaser or just something of interest for you guys to peruse as you watch this video. So I'm playing around slightly with the format, nothing too wild. It'll be pretty much as you expect, but I'm trying to draw more attention to the new prog singles list that I've put together, and I've made a playlist for it on YouTube, so if you want to watch these music videos essentially of these prog songs, I would really recommend it. It's my way of recommending even more music to you guys and getting you hyped and excited about all the latest and greatest in prog. So first of all, the prog news quick hits. Jim Godfrey of Frost reveals that the new Frost album will be a double concept album. It sounds like it's going to be about 85 minutes long, coming out presumably on Inside Out Music in October. The album is going to be called Life in the Wires. So a lot of cool confirmation. There was a lot of little tidbits and information out there about the upcoming album. Seems like he's joined on the album by Nathan King, John Mitchell, and Craig Blundell. So a really stellar lineup that has been part of Frost for some time. So should be a really cool double album to look forward to. A lot of music there. Seems like there's a lot of cool stuff coming like later in the year, so I'm excited for that. Marillion has a new live album out called An Hour Before It's Dark, live in Port Zelande, out now. So if you're into Marillion and love their live music, which a lot of people have told me that's the premier way to experience Marillion, is in their live music, not in the studio performances. I saw them live on Cruise to the Edge and can attest that they're amazing live, so really fun to see a live album by the band. Steven Wilson is teasing some big news that might be coming up soon, so maybe that'll be an item on a future New Music Weekly. Always excited to see what Steven Wilson's up to. I'm assuming he's coming out with an album early next year, but we'll see if the announcement says otherwise. Peter Jones, who's the keyboardist of Haken, has announced that he's going to be coming out with a solo album this year at some point. No more news on it than that, just kind of a teaser at this point. But I love all of the Haken solo albums, so this should hopefully be in that same pantheon with Charlie Griffith's great album, Tiktaalik. Ross Jennings had an incredible solo record as well. And, of course, we've also got Richard Hinshaw, who has an incredible solo record called The Cocoon, and recently has been coming out with some EPs for some solo work also. And then I saw that Steve Hackett is going to guest on the upcoming Nick Magnus album. Nick Magnus is a keyboard player that's played with Steve Hackett in the past. So he played between 1978 and 1989 for him. This new album is going to be called A Strange Inheritance. And so it should be a cool album and a cool feature by a notable, amazing prog artist. So now into our prog singles of the week. This is a great list. Like I said, I want to point you towards a playlist that I've made that I will link in the description below. So please check it out. First on the docket, we have Pure Reason Revolution and their new track called Dig Till You Die. This is from their upcoming album Coming Up to Consciousness, which is going to be released on September 6th on Inside Out Music. A really cool track. I love this group. They have a bit of a darker feel to them at times. They'll maybe introduce some electronic elements. You could think some of the like darker Steven Wilson stuff, but they have these really cool harmonies and beautiful moments. They have some little bits of like Pink Floyd atmospheric kind of stuff as well in their makes, and they've proved to be one of the best groups of recent years. I love their comeback albums. Eupnia was a great one, and then, of course, Above Cirrus, which came out just a couple years ago. So cool to see them coming out with new music. Interesting new lineup as well on this record. It seems their long-standing bassist and vocalist Chloe Alper is still busy with other commitments, so she's not going to be on this record. Her live replacement is Anik Sheeran of neo-folk proggers Heelung. Making her recorded debut also on this record. Sounds like they thought, well, if she's going to be touring with the group and being with them live, then it makes sense for her to be on the record as well. So should be a cool lineup, should be some really great music. The single sounds incredible, so I'm excited for that one. Number 2 on my prog singles list is VOLA and the track Break My Lying Tongue. This is an incredible Danish/Swedish quartet that does more heavy prog or even progressive metal. Their new album that they've just announced is going to be called Friend of a Phantom. That's due out on November 1st. So this is a great taste for the album. Some heavy hitting stuff, some really cool synth work. They always have a great style to them where they manage to be heavy but also catchy and somewhat poppy at the same time. It's a really cool trick that they pull off. And so this should be a cool record to look forward to. So I'm really excited about it. I'm not really notably a big VOLA fan, but I want to check them out more, and I'm excited to get into this record. This was a beautiful piece of work here. At number 3 on my prog singles list is Big Big Train's live rendition of Last 11, live at Sweetwater Studios, that they performed, I believe, when they were here in the States, touring and doing Cruise to the Edge. It's a beautiful take on the track from their last album, The Likes of Us. They start with this more acoustic, soft, pastoral opening before they get into the more fast-paced prog workout that the song becomes. And Alberto Bravin is just in fantastic voice. The band is on fire in their performance. And I just love this track with all my heart. So I'm really happy to see it featured here in a live setting, bringing more attention and love to their latest album, which I think is one of the best of the year. Still on the top of my list for favorite albums. I just can't get enough of it. And to me, it's like a perfect prog album. So definitely check them out. They have a lot going on in terms of touring upcoming as well, doing some UK dates throughout September and into October. And then also they'll be doing Cruise to the Edge next year as well. So coming back in a way to the States next year to perform. I'm hoping to perform more songs from The Likes of Us. Their previous set was more of kind of a smattering of greatest hits from their catalog. So it would be cool to see some of their new album focused on. Item number 4 here on the prog singles list, Jordan Rudess has a new track called The Alchemist, which is coming out on his upcoming record called Permission to Fly. This is going to be released on September 6th on Inside Out Music, and this is a really cool, proggy, crazy track, just everything you'd expect from the wizardry of Jordan Rudess. You know, plenty of prog workouts and some heavier moments, but nothing too metally, more in just the pure prog vein, with some incredible singing. He has a guest vocalist on this record that sounds absolutely fantastic, that Joe Payne. So really cool experimentation, prog flourishes, all that kind of stuff, some fast-paced workouts. Everything you'd come to expect from Rudess is all baked in here. Cool that he's releasing a solo album just right before potentially Dream Theater releases their new album. Who knows when that's going to come out. Probably, I'm guessing, will be either really late this year or early next year is probably more likely. But Jordan Rudess coming out with a solo record is going to be a lot of fun, and he really leans on the prog side, so I really love it. And then finally, a really cool track from a band that I don't think gets enough love. This is Exploring Birdsong and their track Turntail. A beautiful track, really expressive and emotive. Beautiful female vocals. Has a bit of an accessibility and pop touch, but is beautifully done. Melodic, has a bit of that prog flourish in it to give it a unique angle. And I just love this group. They're apparently working on their first full-length album. They've only released like EPs up to this point, but they're fantastic and definitely deserve more attention in the prog space. I really urge you to check out that track. So really fantastic week of singles. All of them are fantastic. I really highly recommend you actually go seek them out. Like I said, I'm going to put the playlist that includes all the songs in one grouping in the description, so please check that out if you're able to. As for the channel itself, really great week. I did another trio of great reviews this week that I really enjoyed putting out there. One was Iz's new album, Collapse the Wave. Really fantastic prog album that I think everyone should check out. It's really fantastic. Blends classic progressive rock with newer, more modern elements, and I think they do it in a fantastic way. We've got the band Return to the Earth and their album Stalagmite Steeple, which is fantastic also. More in the atmospheric kind of Pink Floyd-y vein, but with some really emotional, charged lyrics and some great emotive guitar soloing. And it's just a fantastic piece of work that I think really expresses the COVID pandemic and all of the aftermath in a really elegant way. So a really great record there. And then the Decemberists' new record I also highlighted on the channel. Really fantastic. A bit of a return to form for them, infusing some prog elements that they haven't in their previous couple records. A great epic at the end of the record, Joan in the Garden, which is really fun. But also some cool folky music all the way throughout, highlighting stuff from all of their classic eras. So definitely one to check out if you're a Decemberist fan. If you like more of the folk rock, indie rock side of the equation, I think that's for you. With Jana, I did a video on Pink Floyd, Goodbye Blue Sky. We reacted to that last weekend. A lot of comments, of course, that we should have listened to the whole Wall album and not just picked out one track out of context. And I totally get it. You know, I'm an album person. I love listening to full albums, but it's just not the theme of our show to listen to full albums all the time. It's just too much to ask of Jan, and if I ask too much out of her, she might not want to do the show anymore. So I'm treating it very delicately, trying to do things, you know, for her needs as well as what I think the channel would like to see. But we are experimenting in this year with some more sidelong type reactions, so I'm considering somewhat of Pink Floyd The Wall as a reaction, but split up into different sides. But I worry about copyright. I worry about, you know, Jana's ability to sit for that long and do that kind of full project. So I just wanted to address that because I know a lot of people wish that things could be done a little bit differently, but I have some constraints that I'm working with and trying to make the best shows I can within the limits that I have to work with. But hopefully you guys have been enjoying the channel. I've been having a blast doing it. I love recommending new albums, and that's been a great focus for the channel lately. I'm hoping to put out a review this week of the new Kaipa album, which I've been really digging, coming out next Friday on Inside Out. So I'll be talking about that. Another fantastic Prog Song Sunday with Jana. Hoping to get some Gentle Giant content, because it is Gentle Giant month, even though we haven't done a ton of Gentle Giant themed videos, but I hopefully will have a big one coming out this week, so hopefully you guys will appreciate that if you're Gentle Giant fans. And otherwise, I've got a lot of fun stuff in the future. Hopefully you guys stay tuned and let me know in the comments any news items that you've been excited about in the prog sphere, any great new singles, great new albums. I love to hear about it all. So thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll hopefully catch you guys in a future episode. Bye everybody. Enjoy the music.